What is going on, everybody? It is episode 812 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. Happy Monday. If you're having a case of the Mondays, I do apologize. I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. We are back from the weekend, and we have $20 Super Chats from Shane H. Wilder. Happy Monday, Brett and Mary. I trust you're feeling better, Mary. Maybe all you needed was some food from the Hello Kitty Cafe. LOL, I finished season 1 of House of David. It ends with the battle with Goliath. Highly recommend.
Wow.
Interesting. The funny thing about the Hello Kitty Cafe, which I did visit over the weekend, is they don't actually have cafe items. Like, they don't actually sell coffee or whatever.
Well, what the hell do they sell?
It's just a merch truck. It just sells merch. I mean, you could get macaroons or Madeline cookies. They have those.
Words don't mean anything.
But they don't actually
anymore.
have. Yeah, they're not They have a picture of Hello Kitty holding a cup of coffee on the truck. No. But you cannot actually buy coffee from the truck. And then I came there, and the line was so freaking long that I just gave up. So I was like, whatever, we're doing it for the gram. And it was worth it.
Wait, so you didn't go in, you just took pictures outside?
Well, that's just it's a
truck.
car.
I'm saying you didn't get any merch. You just stood outside.
No, because it was I'm gonna stand here for an hour so that I can maybe buy a shirt that I don't really even want.
Yeah.
I'd rather just take a picture in front of it and then go across the street to this actual coffee shop.
Bro, you could just go to a Five Below. They've got Hello Kitty merch all over Five Below.
I don't have a giant car with her face on it. Of course.
I think at one point when we were building the studio, I got you a Hello Kitty neon sign from a Five Below, and it's here somewhere.
Yeah,
I have no idea where it is.
Ever go?
I think it's in the other room because there's nowhere to put it behind you.
Yeah. Well,
we could make a guest have to have it behind them. That would be funny. Make Phil stand behind a
curtain here, but yeah. To answer your question, I am mostly better now. This is probably the last day where I'm going to be coughing here and there, but
also
I'm back to my normal self.
Good for House of David. I posted a picture of The Chosen, The Last Supper over the weekend. Looked like an album cover. Looked like Jesus was about to drop a really, really sick mixtape. I liked it a lot.
He did. It's called The Gospel.
There you go. So good for all involved. There's a resurgence of faith-based stuff coming out. King of Kings is coming out on Easter weekend, I believe. Yeah. So that's going to be a big
theaters?
One. Yes, it's going to get a theater release. Yeah.
They're really committed to that, making sure that they're releasing things in theaters, including episodes of The Chosen.
Yep, they're doing 2 episodes at a time.
You said that The Chosen is now outperforming Snow White at the box office.
It came in 3rd this weekend at the box office. It came in 3rd, and Snow White came in 4th.
Insane.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that today, guys. It's just one of the many things that we're going to talk about. But before we get started, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, please. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, perhaps you found this channel by happenstance. Perhaps you saw Mary or myself on IRL and you decided to tune in. You should subscribe and turn the notifications on so that you can be notified anytime a live stream or an episode goes up. And remember to share the content out with everyone that you know. Those are the best ways that you can help channels like this grow. So thank you guys so much for that. So yes, that is one of the things that we're going to get into this weekend as Snow White plummets down the rabbit hole of just awful box office movies. Minecraft has ascended. It is now the biggest movie in the world, surprising pretty much everyone. I saw some people arguing. They're like, this movie was always going to do well. I'm like, no, this was a Jack Black movie. Super Mario Brothers notwithstanding, it didn't exactly look like genius casting. And Borderlands did bull. Nobody went to see Borderlands. So it's not like a Minecraft movie was necessarily a shoo-in. Even Warner Brothers had medium to average expectations for this film. But it opened to $313 million worldwide, and the theaters look like absolute zoos. Mm-hmm. So we are going to talk about that. We are going to talk about Mary sent me this one.
Yeah.
Facial dysmorphia, which I guess is different than body dysmorphia.
This is a condition.
It's affecting the young women.
Yeah, a condition called facial dysmorphia plaguing Gen Z females who claim they have no idea what they really look like, and taking selfies and obsessing over their facial features controls their entire lives.
Shocking. So we're going to talk about that. Also, someplace, Shamik Moore of the Spider-Verse movies is crying because Haley Steinfeld is kind of all over the internet right now due to her insane chemistry with Michael B. Jordan from the
Yes.
premiere of Sinners, which I do still want to see, but he's crying somewhere because everyone's talking about how these two have great chemistry, and he kind of, shot his shot and failed.
It was literally the HR meme.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about it. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you're
Yeah.
ready, we can go. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Jenna Ortega recently appeared on the red carpet at CinemaCon 2025, and people were saying that she looks unrecognizable. They are taking note of a drastic change in her appearance, and I can think of a few reasons why. First off being that she bleached her eyebrows. I don't know why this is a trend and why it's taking so long for this specific trend to die out, but I see it all the time on red carpets and also on social media. She did bleach her eyebrows, so that changes your entire face. You'd be surprised at just how much your eyebrow shape changes everything else, the way everything else is framed.
Keeps me up at night.
I mean, what if you bleached your eyebrows? Everyone would be freaked out and say that you look like a totally different person.
I would never do that.
And it's sort of like eyelashes, right? You think that you don't notice them, but if Jenna Ortega went out and bleached her eyelashes, you would think something is really off.
Would you be able to tell if eyelashes were bleached if you were wearing that much eye makeup around it?
I mean, probably, yeah.
I
She's
don't
wearing
know.
fake eyelashes in this photo. But those are not meant to be at the forefront. The bleached eyebrows were like the statement she was making with this look. And then on top of that, she's also grown out her bangs, so her forehead is on display. I haven't seen that before in any of her other red carpet appearances.
She's got like a 4.5 head.
It's really not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I think they just did badly with styling her hair the way it is now. And then on top of that, people were saying that she looks like she's gotten work done, specifically on her chin and jawline areas. And others were saying lip injections are a possibility. Some people joked that she looks like Zac Efron after he went way too hard with the Juvederm.
No, nothing like that.
Here were some of the comments. Another starlet bogged herself. I didn't even know that was a term.
I've never heard of that.
They're saying that she looks like a bog person.
Okay.
Like one of those corpses that gets preserved inside of a bog. Eyebrow bleaching is insane. Women look better with full eyebrows. I agree. Well, they look better when they don't do anything to their eyebrows except for like getting rid of a unibrow. Everything else was a mistake. The gigantic caterpillar eyebrows were a mistake, but then we veered off in the other extreme.
Would you dye your eyebrows?
I would not. I'd be too scared.
Okay.
I mean, I've considered bleaching
Can you dye
them.
You can dye them back though if it doesn't work.
Right, yeah, unless they fall off. But I've considered bleaching them because I was like, I wonder what it looked like if it were the same color as my hair.
There's got to be an app that does that now, right?
You can also use makeup to do it. It's like not something that you need to go to that extreme to do. But I didn't do it because it looks insane on almost everybody who does it.
Okay.
And this is another example of that. Another one said, why do Hollywood female stars make such an effort to look like demons? This was from another viral tweet that showed this before and after comparison of Jenna Ortega. Do you have that?
I don't think it's a fair comparison because she's not smiling in the first photo, and smiling structurally changes the way your face looks in the moment.
That's also true, and it's a completely different angle. Her hairstyle also changed. Anna, that Star Wars girl, said all she did was grow out her bangs. I don't see what the issue is. It's not as extreme of a change as people are saying it is, but I don't want to deny that it's there. Like, I noticed it too. Another one said, this isn't to be mean, but what did she do to her face? That jaw is jawing. A lot of people think that she got filler in her jawline, and it looks a lot more prominent than it used to. I'm going to blame it mostly on the eyebrows, though. Okay. And I just cannot wait for this trend to die out.
I mean, I think the bangs are doing more work to this than... her face is structurally a different shape with the bangs gone. But I mean, I looked at it and just look, I don't know. I'm a dude. What I look at with the second photo is harsh lines and contouring done with makeup, I'm assuming.
What they say with Botox, though, is that the younger you start, the better, right? Preventative Botox.
Seems like a bad idea.
It is an incredibly bad idea.
Like I look at it and I see in the first photo it looks like her face has soft makeup on, and in the second photo it looks like she's got strong contouring along her cheeks and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Well, she's wearing like super intense eyeliner under her eyes in the first before picture and not in the after picture.
Gentlemen, do you notice this stuff? I have to try and relate this back to the male audience.
Drag queen aesthetics.
Is that what that is?
Another one said, Abuela mode engaged. The wall has been breached. They're saying this is Jenna Ortega hitting the wall.
Just yesterday, they were saying that she looks so young that you're a PDF file if you like her.
Yeah, I guess you go from 12 to 45 overnight. That's
she's 27, you sick. How old is she?
She's 23.
23?
I believe.
Okay.
Another one said, children and young adults want so badly to appear older. Sometimes that involves makeup to accent contours for those that use makeup. Just be yourself is often easier said than done.
Sorry.
Yeah, she literally turned into like the Sigma male meme. She turned into Alpha Ortega.
I'm picturing the music playing right now.
Yeah.
Sigma grind set.
It's only a matter of time.
Okay.
Makeup should be classified as a deadly weapon, one said. Latinas go from 25 to 55 overnight. That one got over 1,000 likes.
Okay.
Normalizing women looking trans so men will be more attracted to trans women. That's the psyop that they believe is at play
Is
here.
there like a shadowy council of people sitting around a perpetually burning flame that has decreed that into law?
I don't know about you, but when I look at this photo of Jenna Ortega, I think this is a bad photo of Jenna Ortega. I don't think that's a man. But now Jenna Ortega is getting transvestigated.
I do think she looks objectively worse in those photos than she did before.
She doesn't look like a man, though. No. And this certainly isn't some kind of shadowy psyop to convince men to be attracted to trans women.
Yeah, that's
a bit of a reach.
Is the shadowy council that I spoke of just like the producers of RuPaul's Drag Race, and they actually get to decide what everybody wears and everybody puts on their face?
Another one said, it seems like celebrity men are being herded towards feminine beauty standards and women towards masculine ones.
Well, okay, what's the masculine
about this photo?
I mean, you could make the argument maybe that a strong jawline would be masculine.
But she's always kind of had that. I don't believe that she got jawline fillers, honestly. It's just a different angle.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at this and think shadowy conspiracy.
They try to make themselves look like demons because that's what they are on the inside. Are we being a little overdramatic? Maybe?
I don't have the energy for this shit today. I don't.
I also wanted to mention a recent comment that Jenna Ortega made about the fate of Scream 7 and why she had to walk away from the movie. She claimed at the time that it was over her shooting schedule coming into conflict with Scream 7. However, that now she admits is a lie. Mm-hmm. I love how she's just coming out and saying, like, yeah, I lied. I lied to everyone.
I mean, was it her that said it, or was it like her manager?
She said at the time it was due to her shooting schedule back in 2023.
I mean, it's kind of like creative differences. Nobody's ever actually left a film just for creative differences.
That was a month after October 7th, by the way. Mm-hmm. She said it had nothing to do with pay or scheduling. The Melissa stuff was happening. She's referring to Melissa Barrera getting cut from the movie, allegedly over her statements about Palestine. The Melissa stuff was happening, and it was all kind of falling apart. If Scream 7 wasn't going to be with that team of directors and those people I fell in love with, then it didn't seem like the right move for me in my career at that time.
Well, I mean, so she left before they brought Sydney back, right? She left before they brought Neve Campbell back, because I believe her and Melissa leaving is what gave Neve Campbell the leverage to be like,
yes.
So you guys need that movie to get made then, huh? It's already been greenlit.
You ready to pay me what I asked for?
Ready to pay me what I asked for, which we praised her for by saying that more women should do that. If they don't feel like they're being paid enough for the movies, walk away. And she did.
Right. Well, it was a rumor at the time that Jenna Ortega left in solidarity with Melissa Barrera for her stance on Palestine. And the new interview that Jenna Ortega just did seems to confirm that rumor, that it was more of a political move than anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, I mean, she seems to care a lot more about what her career looks like than, say, a Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, yeah.
She's given several
Definitely.
interviews talking about how she's already writing scripts and wants to write and direct one day. And if she feels that a movie that's being made isn't going to be the best for her career, she's going to care more. Like, if Millie Bobby Brown was in this situation, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make it anyways. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
She's like, it's
That's
just
why
movie.
Winona Ryder was like comparing the two of them because they're both around the same age. And Jenna Ortega is like a cinephile.
Yeah.
Which I find so pretentious and annoying.
Of
but
course.
it's what people say about her, not what she calls herself,
Yes.
thankfully.
Well, that would be worse.
And Millie Bobby Brown is just out here proudly being like, yeah, I don't really give an F about movies.
She's like,
don't care.
it's a job. I go and I do my job.
I respect both.
Yes.
Like, I respect the Jenna Ortega that refused to deliver cringy lines as Wednesday Addams. I also respect Millie Bobby Brown,
I
who
will
admits that
deliver
she's in
whatever-
it for the paycheck.
I will deliver whatever cringy lines you
Yeah.
want as long as you pay me enough.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Those are both respectable positions.
Also, look, they could end up bringing her back once they make Scream 37, which will
37.
eventually, Nev.
When
will
Jenna
be-
Ortega is just downloaded into some software.
Well, what'll happen is like Sydney will be like walkering out of the nursing
No,
home.
everyone's going to be a cyborg by then.
Yeah, and then at that point they'll bring back.
Speaking of cyborgs, I saw the trailer for Megan 2.0. Is that what they're calling it?
How'd you feel?
I am intrigued.
Gonna go see it?
Yeah, I
Wow.
like the tone that they're taking.
Well, you liked the first one too, right?
I did like the first Megan. So they gave her a bunch of upgrades in the trailer where she asks to be taller and stronger and faster, and it basically means like Megan's not in the child robot body anymore. She's like an adult now.
Yeah.
So there were some kind of sexual undertones that I didn't know how to feel about. Remember when they were selling the doll?
I remember we talked about
They were
that.
selling the doll of the original Megan as the child robot, and I was like, who's buying that? And should they be on a watch list?
I pushed back on that. I said, look, horror fans love collectibles. So
I know, but you never know. He might not be, the consumer of that product might not be a horror fan. It's just, he's just a fan of that, of like,
well,
that type
clearly
of thing.
they took your advice to heart by aging her up.
Yeah, so she's fighting another murderous cyborg robot. And
I mean, on its what you're describing right now sounds like you're describing a movie for me, not for you.
But I like the tone. I think that the trailer used the line like, this bitch fights that bitch. And it's just kind of like,
It sounds directly up your alley.
Yeah, unabashedly tongue-in-cheek, and I like that she's programmed to protect Katie at all costs.
Well, perhaps you should. So it's the Terminator.
Yeah.
It's literally just
It's the
T1.
Terminator for
Okay.
girls.
Okay, perfect. That's
This
awesome.
is the Terminator franchise for girls.
There you go. All right, let's move on. Usher.
Yeah, Usher is currently on tour and wreaking havoc across the nation on relationships and marriages alike. And now he has been accused of causing the divorce between a 45-year-old man and a female fan of his who is invited up on stage. I was not aware of this, but you know how, like, in the Taylor Swift Eras tour, they curate these moments. Or, like, Justin Bieber had the One Less Lonely Girl. He brings her up on stage, gives her some flowers, serenades her. Usher does that, but it's just, like, really sexual and all married women. So, yeah, Usher's a menace.
That's kind of
we know this.
Like my worst instincts say that that's hilarious. Like
no, it is.
The
It
worst
is
side,
hilarious.
the worst side of me, kind of in the same way that I talk about how I love David Zaslav because he annoys all the right people. This just kind of makes me laugh.
What's so hilarious about it is that you can see the female fans are getting so invested in it, and Usher, it's just all a game to him. Like, he's a psychopath.
Can't keep getting away with it.
He can't keep getting away with this.
This is
So
20 from Shane H. Wilder.
Let me find that.
He said,
had a 23-year-old coworker who was on air talent. She started getting Botox to look young. She went from a pretty young woman to someone whose face didn't move when she smiled. Things like that are noticeable even to us gents. Yeah, it's different when you're just taking a selfie. Who can tell in a static image that you have injections that paralyze your face? But in person, it gives people uncanny valley.
Look what happened to actress Lauren Holly. Lauren Holly was great, and then she started having all that work done, and it made her... It actually worked for her in some roles where she had to play kind of a resolute character where it looks like she's holding back emotions, but really she's just not able to move her face.
So what you're about to witness, I'm going to issue a trigger warning. This is the cherry on top segment that Usher does at every stop of his tour. And this is where he hands out cherries to audience members, often leading to playful and risque interactions. During a concert in Miami, Usher engaged in a particularly spicy moment with an actor.
Are we going to get this episode pulled down by showing this?
No, I mean, it's just cherries. Like, they're all clothed and everything. It's like technically PG-13. But this is a particularly spicy moment between Usher and a female fan that precipitated her husband filing for divorce after the stunt. So this is just so embarrassing. Gives me so much secondhand embarrassment. You're closing your eyes.
No, I'm
like, no, her.
I hate it so much. Wait, was her husband there?
I don't know. He didn't. Why is she doing that? Like, Usher isn't into you like that.
I'm sorry, but actually his talent cannot be understated, that he can get somebody to forget that they're in front of like 10,000 people. 20,000 people.
Insane.
This lady in the back is really funny. And this is literally...
They're just enjoying the chaos.
Sorry, whatever job you work right now, that is your HR rep behind her.
No, okay, so it gets so much worse when he pulls out the cherries.
I don't want to...
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Why are these other people recording it?
It's at a concert.
I don't care.
So they bring him... Bring him this bowl of cherries. I can't. No, look at this, look. They do a zoom in. This is outrageous. I'm pretty sure she ate the stems. I'm pretty sure that she just ate the stems after that.
I hope so.
Now, the husband filed for divorce after seeing this.
That was amazing.
And allegedly, the husband claims she has never kissed him in public. And he was shocked that she could do that to a complete stranger in the presence of 20,000 people.
Oh my God.
Usher is a menace. This man must be stopped. And he does this at every concert stop.
No.
So there's another incident that I wanted to show between Usher and this actress and singer Drew Sidora.
More cherries?
Another cherry incident.
Oh.
This is a repeat offense. Why? Why? What are you doing to that cherry? I think the cherry should press charges.
I'm sorry.
The cherry needs to press charges. This is criminal. I feel violated. I'm not even the cherry and I feel violated.
See okay, guys, like if you're having second thoughts about about your wife, maybe what you do is you send her to this concert and you make sure she says no.
Well, no, what you do is you send her to a Chris Brown concert and see if she takes those crazy photos with him at the meet and greet. And if she doesn't, she's a keeper.
So this guy's divorcing his wife, huh?
Allegedly. I don't know any other details if this claim is even true, but it was Dom Luker who said it, so ask him.
Must be true.
If Dom Luker said it, it must be true. So there was that. And then you might recall this massive scandal involving Keke Palmer attending an Usher concert last year. She ended up getting into a public fight with her baby daddy after attending this Usher concert because she wore a sheer dress that was mostly see-through, and she was invited up on stage, and Usher serenaded her and got pretty up in her close personal space. She was enjoying herself very clearly in the video. Afterwards, her baby daddy posted on Instagram that he was outraged and scandalized by it, as he should have been, but I also at the time pointed out, if you want to lay claim over this woman and what she's doing, you should probably marry her, the mother of your child. So later on, just a month ago, Usher and Keke Palmer recorded a podcast together where they addressed the controversy and whether it was Usher's fault at the end of the day that her relationship ended.
Obviously, everybody went crazy. We caused some ruckus in my relationship.
Well, hold on. Did we cause some
We did.
ruckus in our relationship?
We were being showmen.
Hold on. Did I have anything to do with what was going on in your...
He knows.
He's such a
He
menace.
knows what he's doing.
I'm honestly, I love it. Like, he's such a freaking menace. It's awesome.
home? Did I send you that dress? I just want to know that.
Did you
I
expect
cannot
that
be
reaction?
responsible for how people...
This is like the reverse of those episodes and shows where like a really sleazy divorce attorney sends a woman after a guy who's got like a prenup about like an infidelity clause, and then he sends her after them, and then when the guy cheats, he's like, "You didn't have to.
What could you do?
What could you do?"
people choose to react to my experience as an entertainer. I am not deliberately trying to do anything that's going to rock anybody's
This is what you
home.
call Usher.
That is not true.
Wow.
I'm ushering right
Usher
now.
is
This is what
ushering.
I actually say to myself in the mirror every time I go out there before I hit the stage. I am not here to break up your home. I am here to entertain you, my love.
And you were right, too. Like I told you.
Bro, find somebody then who's not married. Like, do you have any
Well,
fans?
you can't just check that every time.
Actually, that's
if there's
pretty.
just a random
that's
fan.
Pretty well. No, if they plan it beforehand, they can. They pick the person out beforehand, and then they say, "Are you married? Are you in a long-term relationship, or are you single?" If anything, this is strong evidence that Usher apparently springs family values. If every single woman he seems to do this to is married,
Yeah.
what the hell's up with that?
Yeah.
I was that girl at 15, 16, 17 watching these videos. It's my journey as an artist, as a performer, as somebody that looks up to Usher as the person that has literally been giving us amazing, impactful, cultural, global hits for years, says, let's get up here and dance. That's my moment. No one gets to take that moment from me.
Not even my baby
not
daddy.
even the father of your child.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm pretty sure that Keke Palmer's relationship was in shambles well before the Usher incident, and that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. But as for these other examples, I'm not so sure. And I think Usher knows exactly what he's doing. Does his excuse as just being an entertainer fly?
Even that face makes him look sus.
No, he gets such a kick out of it. He's a psychopath. Yeah. He enjoys blowing up people's marriages. He gets a sick thrill out of it, almost.
Bro can't keep getting away with it.
That Sherry thing is so insane.
But, you know, as bad as he is here, ladies, you need to take responsibility for your actions and
True.
say no.
True.
Say no.
But you know why they're going to the concert.
Usher may be a menace, but your hands are not clean in this.
You know why they're going to the concert. They want this to happen. And, you know, couldn't it all just be so simple? Like Justin Bieber doing the One Less Lonely Girl segment at his tours. That was just some simple, wholesome fun. Actually, the ones who made it into a problem were the fans. I remember many instances where he would bring a random girl from the audience for One Less Lonely Girl, and it would tend to be her, like a crazy one or two of them, that would try to kiss him and touch him and stuff, and he would not be doing that. He was probably told, like, you do not want a lawsuit.
No.
You just serenade the girl, you give her some flowers, and she goes on her merry way. But they were always the ones who tried to start some shit.
They need to do some psychological background checks before they let any of those people up on stage.
It's too risky.
Yep.
It's too risky. Who was the other one? Was it also Usher who like had this fan come up on stage and she was like twerking on him and he was just like, he had his hands literally thrown in the air so that no one would think he was like,
I don't know. Was that
touching
him?
her?
Probably not Usher.
It was someone else.
Maybe that was Chris Brown.
Maybe? I don't remember now. But you gotta be careful just for your own sake too.
I'm telling you, gentlemen, like, don't, like, just know. Like, you can't, if she wants to go to the Usher concert, you either
pop her tires.
You either say no, or you force her to do this and say, the marriage is on the line.
No, you pop her tires, throw her keys in the lake.
I'm sorry.
It's for the best.
We can't do it.
It's for both of you.
Or you know what? you make a bunch of food with cherries before the show so that she's not in the mood for any cherries at all. Yeah. Cherry pie, loose cherries, cherry soda, anything so that when she gets to that concert, the last thing she wants is some cherries.
Yeah.
Because
life hack.
It's not going to work, guys. It's not going to work. That was the worst thing that I've seen in a long time. Thank you
I
for
apologize.
that.
But speaking of Justin Bieber, we should get into some news about him. Growing concerns about Justin Bieber's mental health. He recently live streamed what some people are calling a mental breakdown. I'm not so sure I would agree with that, but he is behaving rather erratically in this Instagram live stream, and fans are commenting together saying they want him to be okay. They're not sure what's going on behind the scenes, if he is on drugs or he's inebriated or appears to be in this video. But let's take a look. His eyes are basically closing.
Yeah.
And he's like giving this weird Kubrick stare at the camera.
Yeah.
What is that?
Drugs.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. I mean, is this... He has posted himself with, like, weed-related paraphernalia recently, but this cannot just be, like,
I mean, it could
pure-baked, is it?
It could be.
It's just interesting because he's talked so much about steering away from that type of lifestyle.
Well, I mean...
And now he's back in it.
You can... I mean, that's a demon that's... The proverbial monkey is on your back your whole life. Your job is to just make sure it doesn't take too strong a hold.
Here was this take. Justin Bieber is crying out for help after he posted this video on Instagram. His handler, they're calling his wife his handler, Haley, shut down his account instantly. Everybody thought she unfollowed, but she's making it seem now like it was a glitch that caused it when he deactivated.
Does that happen?
Wasn't. He wants to escape, but every time he tries to leave, Haley pulls him right back in. He's trapped. I hope his fans work together to help him escape, because, as I said, he is not okay. So that is true. There was a rumor going around that Haley Bieber unfollowed Justin on Instagram, but she said in a TikTok comment, no, it was a glitch. Allegedly, she deactivated his account temporarily after this live stream was put up on his account. So, doesn't seem like she approves of this behavior. And there are rumors that Justin Bieber might end up in a conservatorship with Haley in charge of him.
Yeah.
As happened to Britney Spears. And
Wendy Williams.
Would he have the wherewithal or the agency to stop something like that from happening? They're talking about Haley launching a full-on intervention on him. Haley Bieber is reportedly seeking psychological support for Justin as he's struggling with eating and sleeping. Those close to him are concerned about his anxiety and impulsive behavior, and some are considering an intervention. They're saying that Haley is calling for help and saying he is manic, not eating, sleeping, and his decline has taken a new twist.
Yeah.
That also is reflected by his behavior on social media. It's not just pulled out of thin air. And it's allegedly precipitated by Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco being so out there in the spotlight right now. She's releasing new music. Well, they're actually releasing new music
still care
together.
that much?
Allegedly, yes. He just liked and then promptly unliked a photo carousel of both Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco on Instagram.
Maybe Usher tried to
and everyone saw it.
Maybe Usher tried to feed him cherries and he was like, no.
So he was close friends with Benny Blanco for years.
He was close friends with Usher too.
And that's true. And he also, of course, was in a serious relationship with Selena Gomez. Now his friend is engaged to his ex-girlfriend. I am sure that would cause curiosity in just about anyone. And it's in such a public way that they're releasing music, the lyrics related to her relationship with Justin.
I think that the answer that you're giving, or that people are giving here, is a very, very linear and simplistic answer to something that's more than likely a whole lifetime of various traumas that lead to bad behavior. I don't buy that he woke up one day, turned on the radio, heard Selena and Benny Blanco singing, and was like, where's the crack pipe?
That's not what I mean at all. I mean, it appears that way when the reality is, of course, he has talked about going through really insane things as a child star. And he hasn't gone into detail, but has hinted that it was incredibly traumatic. He was spending time with people like Usher and Diddy and others that I'm sure we're not even aware of. And he is already emotionally unstable because of that. However, something like his ex-girlfriend and now I guess ex-friend publicly releasing music about him and his dishonorable behavior, it's probably a bit of a stab in the back. It must feel like a bit of a stab in the back. And now he's posting things that are very obviously throwing shade at Selena Gomez and her engagement. He posted one saying girls on social media when they get engaged, with a photo of Gollum looking at the ring. And then me acting psycho daily when I'm just a sweet, cute, innocent girly who crashes out sometimes. He's openly referring to himself as crashing out. He's admitting it publicly.
Yeah.
And Selena Gomez is writing stuff about their relationship in her songs. She has one that she says she had a dream of Justin Bieber apologizing to her for everything he did in their relationship and them forgiving each other. She says, I thought I needed that apology for a long time, and I told Benny Blanco about it. That was enough. I don't need that to validate me. I don't need that for me to move on. That's okay that I never got an apology. So it seems to the public, I'm not saying this is the reality, that Selena Gomez is stable. She's moved on. She's in love. She's happy. She's successful. And Justin Bieber, on the other hand, is completely spiraling, is unhappy in his marriage, rumors of divorce incoming, that he is doing drugs, he's unstable, that he needs an intervention, that he's still not moved on from his past, both with her and other people.
Yeah.
And it's overall not an easy thing to manage from a public relations perspective.
I mean, isn't he supposed to be working on new music right now? Hard to work
I
on.
believe he is.
Yeah.
But he's kind of been on a semi-hiatus for years.
I mean, I guess maybe I'm just, it's just because I'm a guy, but I just see substance abuse problems. And maybe all of that stuff plays a role in it, but I'm guessing more that, you know, you're hitting uppers and downers at the same time, and that's why you're making videos like that, and it seems like a good idea.
I doubt that they are functioning amazingly with all these rumors going around, though. So there are rumors that he's losing his mind, that he's on drugs. There are rumors that they're about to get a divorce. There are rumors that Hailey Bieber stalked Justin for over a decade before they got together.
I wonder if they've had a conversation about that.
How could you not?
I wonder if they
That's, of course they have. How could you not?
Yeah.
You know? And you would hope they could live their lives privately and separate from all of that discourse, but it's easier said than done.
I mean, also, he probably just doesn't have anybody telling him no in life, and he's able to do what he wants when he wants because of the money he has, and that leads to bad behavior.
For sure.
I
Imagine being surrounded by yes men ever since you were like 12.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. And he seems to have excised a lot of those people that were with him when he was younger.
All right.
So I see all of this, and I just see substance abuse issues that need to be handled through rehab. And I mean, theoretically, he has a good baseline for getting help, given the fact that he's religiously inclined to begin with, which means that, you know, sometimes the hardest thing for some people when they get clean is understanding something bigger than yourself and understanding, you know, a path forward to sobriety. I wonder if that might help him more than people who don't necessarily. So,
well,
I feel bad for the dude, but I saw that video and I was just like, he's probably on something.
Yeah, for sure.
Would be my guess.
And I think Haley wanted to deactivate his account, hoping that the evidence wouldn't be spread around.
I mean, that's impossible for somebody with that size of fan base.
Yeah.
Like anything posted for longer than a minute is caught by somebody.
Right.
When you've got however many millions of followers.
But when he was mass unfollowing and blocking all of these people who used to be in his team, I thought that was a sign he was about to file a lawsuit or speak out in some public way about.
No, it seems like it was just a manic response to, you know, his changing.
Who knows?
Like the changes in his life.
Like, I thought that he was going to sue people for mismanaging his money or any sort of abuse that he suffered when he was a minor in the industry. But then nothing came out, and now he's just acting more and more crazy. John
Odom in the chat says it's a news story that he liked then unliked a post. I hate pop culture. Well, yeah, I mean
You're not gonna like it here.
The
then.
goings on between celebrities is part of the gig, and it's part of what people find interesting. Like I tend to be the type of person where I look at this and I'm like, it's just this. But most people who like this type of pop culture, they're very invested in the into the goings on between these people, because it's such an unknowable industry from the outside.
This is why they need to bring back the best feature on Instagram, the following tab. Do you remember this?
What do you mean?
You would look at everyone you follow and what they're doing.
Oh.
It shows you all the things they're liking, everything they're commenting on.
Probably not a great
everyone
idea.
They're following.
I'm sure women love that.
Oh, yeah. It was the perfect stalking tool. I didn't really use it because they got rid of it in like 2016 or something. But it would really come in handy for topics like this.
Yeah.
Just to stalk people.
All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see cute first.
Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. Let's do this one here. This one's from Lindsay. Says, this is Bunny, our hospital community kitty. She was threatened with eviction from under our office building, so we all worked really hard to take care of her, and she got adopted.
Very
cute. I posted
Love
this
that
because
it's a cat named Bunny.
She said if you don't feature Bunny, I'm deleting her post. So I was like, don't worry, she's next in the queue.
Well, she's very cute.
Bunny is very cute.
I'm glad that she got a home.
Bunny is very cute. She looks like she's looking out into the...
She just wants to go back to the streets.
I watched this old X-Files episode the other day with the invisible elephant and the sign language, not giraffe, the sign language ape. It was, it's like an elephant that can't be seen, and then they think it's being artificially inseminated by aliens. 1995 was wild, man.
What the fuck?
I hadn't seen that episode in years. I was like, holy shit.
How do they think of this stuff?
I don't know. I like writing for the X-Files back in the day.
Did they do drugs?
I mean, I'm sure that they
I feel like they didn't.
I mean, you look at the pictures of the writers back then, and they all look like insurance brokers.
Yeah.
Like but I'm sure they smoked weed.
Maybe, I don't know.
They were artists, I'm sure.
It was different back
but
then.
they were artists with deadlines and like a lot on the line. So I always thought it was weird. It's like, you know, how do they, well, no, because then they would give like examples of like what inspired those episodes, like with the crazy themes. And sometimes it would be other movies or shows, but sometimes it would be like reading this article about this thing that was happening. And then they're like, what if we did it, but with aliens? What if we did it, but with demonic possession?
We have a 20 from Zach Hates YouTube. I've got your coffee names, Based Ghost Roast, and Brett's Let's Go Breakfast Blend. Also, I just saw a YouTube vid about a mountain named Ganga. Save it. That's my purse. I don't know you. Glad to have you back. And well, Mary. Thank you for welcoming me back. Yeah, I do have a coffee name in mind. But, of course, I'm not going to just say it out loud. We're not going to spoil anything. Okay. And I have some ideas for Brett and I as well. We're just not going to spoil it. You have to wait.
Cringe of the day. Do you want to give everybody
this is a 13-year-old clip, I think.
Is that Clay Aiken?
Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. It's a different
should point out you have your hoodie on, and this is not by accident.
I didn't accidentally leave it on.
No.
No. You know, it's just kind of a silent statement in memory of Trayvon Martin and hoping for justice in that situation.
We all are, of course.
How does a hoodie do that?
Because Trayvon Martin was wearing a hoodie.
I know, but
so it's like solid.
All right, Clay. Well,
and it is a little chilly also.
Yes, so we should point out that
well, it's always good when the weather agrees with your sign of solidarity.
is part of it.
So do you have a new album coming out?
I do, today. We have an album out today.
He's like, I stand in solidarity with Trayvon Martin, also buy my album.
We live in a very unserious society.
I mean, that was also a different era.
Yeah.
But I just found that so funny.
So go buy his album.
Whatever happened to Clay Aiken, anyways?
It's a good question.
What's he doing these days?
It's like, is he hanging out with David Archuleta?
and Scotty McCreery.
Yeah. All right, let's get started then. So, all right, guys, over the weekend, we saw one of the most insane movie releases of all time. Nobody, and I do maintain this, nobody saw this one coming. Minecraft absolutely obliterated the box office. It made $313 million over the 3-day weekend, catching up to the likes of Super Mario.
It was projected to earn $260 million worldwide and massively outperformed that projection. Now it's number 1. Snow White is number 4. Sucks to suck. But the reason we didn't see this coming, the reason nobody saw this coming, is because of the incredibly negative reactions to the trailer back when the trailer came out.
Yeah, not even the reviews. The reviews were negative as well, but I would have said the apathy around the trailer.
It was not apathy. I mean, people were mad at the trailer. Yeah. Like when the trailer came out, everyone was saying this looks like absolute slop. It looks like it's woke, DEI, like we hate it. Everything about this sucks. And then suddenly, once the movie is out, the response to it is just like outrageous. It's like more than FNAF.
So this is what it did. It did $163 million domestically. That was even higher than yesterday, which the original projections for Sunday were 157. Final tally when the numbers were in even more than that, 163. It did 150 internationally. So it did $313 million on a budget of $150. It was only projected by the trades to make between 70 and 80 million, high end 90, with Warner Brothers only projecting like 65 million. Now, a lot of the times the studios will undersell what they think their predictions are going to be for their movies. So that way they're like, oh, wow, we overshot. We did better than we thought it would. And I think the number one way, the argument that I've seen that makes the most sense for this is that the walk-up traffic for the film was really, really good, meaning that people just showed up at the theater to get tickets and they weren't able to use pre-orders as some type of gauge for whether this movie was going to do well or not.
Yeah. I think that it's a similar phenomenon to the FNAF movie, even though the FNAF movie, like, it did really well, especially for having a much smaller budget than the Minecraft movie. it was a similar demographic that they were looking to target with this.
And that one arguably could have done even better than it did, but it came out on Peacock and in theaters at the same time.
Yeah, they didn't have enough faith in it, I guess.
Yep.
But I think that what's interesting is there are a lot of people literally my age who are interested in seeing the Minecraft movie, because I remember like being in middle school and everyone was talking about playing Minecraft. Like it's been a thing. It's been like a mainstay.
Okay, so that's
for that long.
I saw
and now
somebody
like my little cousins, they love Minecraft too. It's like a multi-generational interest.
Yes. So Layla in the chat says that she as a teenager, she saw it coming. Okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, people were saying if Minecraft is this old, the audience would all be people in their late 20s, early 30s. But it transcends generations, and it's reached a certain level of mimetic success that is indicative of those movies. Of the past, like you mentioned Minions.
It reminds me of, I know Morbius flopped, but it reminds me of like the memes that surrounded Morbius. Yeah. And it also reminded me of the way that people attended the Minion movie. And there were all these like teenage boys showing up to see the Minions movie in like suits and tuxedos. Yeah. And it turned into this whole phenomenon in and of itself. Like it was a cultural trend in and of itself that didn't actually relate back to the movie at all. And that's what you're seeing with the response to the Minecraft movie. It's like people responding with all of these different brain rot phrases.
This is Barbie for boys.
It is.
This is Barbie for boys. Barbie opened to 162 million.
Except it's better because no one in the Minecraft movie, like Jack Black in the Minecraft movie, is not having some kind of insane like Marxist journey of discovery and then ending up living in the real world and
also
getting a vasectomy.
It's fair to point out that Jack Black, think what you want about Jack Black, but when it comes to these types of movies, he's pretty much box office gold. Between this, Super Mario Brothers, and Jumanji,
he's who The Rock wishes he could be.
Kind of, and he made Jumanji with The Rock, so that makes perfect sense. There was also a leaked version of this movie that came out that leaked over the weekend, the unfinished one, that I think actually kind of bolstered people to go more. Yeah, because people were definitely sailing the high seas to go and
leaked.
Yeah, it was leaked.
Maybe.
Mario opened to $377 million, but that was over a 5-day weekend. Its 3-day totals were $146 million domestically and $172 million internationally. So it actually outpaced Mario for its 3-day opening. And over the weekend, so you saw Minecraft take number 1, A Working Man stay at number 2, Chosen The Last Supper 3, and Snow White all the way down to 4. Nobody's going to see Snow White, and she'll soon be outside the theaters. Also, if I had to guess, right now, that Skibbity Toilet movie is being fast-tracked to high hell. They're like, Michael Bay, here is $200 gazillion. Make us the Skibbity Toilet movie.
I forgot
And right next
about
to that, I would also believe, because I heard this yesterday, that if Bob Iger is smart, he is talking to Epic Games and he's getting a Fortnite movie made like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow.
No, yeah, I mean, I know Skibbity Toilet's not a video game. I guess it's made it's Gary's mod,
but it's mimetic.
Yes, it's
And
mimetic.
something
It's
that could
not
be-
really about the video game movie thing in and of itself. It's about making a movie that has a meme culture around it. And they can make
And
all
it's-
these references that are like essentially fan service.
And the boys came out to it, right?
Yes.
Like here's the thing. Like you've tried to cross genres. You've tried to make these 4-quadrant movies that appeal to every demographic, and it doesn't work, especially when you try to take male properties and appeal them to women. It doesn't work. The reason Barbie worked is because it didn't even appeal to young girls. It appealed to millennial women who had the money to go and then go again. The only risk I see this movie having is that you would say, I don't know if this movie would be considered as good as, say, a Super Mario Brothers movie, which people tended to actually like, not necessarily for mimetic reasons. That being mimetic in nature, it might not have the long-term holds that like a Super Mario Brothers or a Barbie did. But if it does, if this movie tends to invite like repeat viewings, this movie could go over $1 billion very easily.
Yeah, so you've got like all the Gen Z guys, and you've got parents taking their kids.
I want to go see it now just because I know I'll have no idea what's going on.
It's also not even really a boys thing. Like, I've seen just as many little girls who are into playing Minecraft as little boys. ironically. So it's like, I know the Gen Z guys are attending this more, but the little kids who want to see the Minecraft movie are like all across.
I mean, you guys have to see these clips here. Like, let's watch this clip first, and then we'll read the 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. But you have to watch this clip. It's like it's Avengers Endgame. Like, you know who's pissed right now is Martin Scorsese.
Wait, let me just read this first. Yeah. Pop Culture Junkie said, Brett, you're so right. The folks who do box office projections for Warner's were totally flummoxed by the walk-up numbers. Hard to forecast.
Yeah, like if you can't tell, like you can't predict that. Mm-hmm. So let's watch this clip here. Martin Scorsese is rolling over in his office chair. If you're listening to the show right now, it says my theater's reaction to Chicken Jockey.
Chicken Jockey.
So much so, guys, they're putting up signs at the theaters that say, "We love Chicken Jockey too. Please don't throw your popcorn."
Yeah, I don't know. Would you feel like your movie-going experience is ruined by this?
I would
jeering.
I say let them do it. I agree. Look, if people are going to be forced to listen to sing-alongs at Wicked, then the boys can throw their popcorn. Has anybody here ever seen Angels in the Outfield? Have you?
I did at one point.
There's the scene, like, you know how the two boys, they go and they sit next to the dugout with the guy who's like the handler, and the one kid keeps getting food on the other guy, and at one point he has to wear a raincoat because like mustard and ketchup. Just bring your raincoat.
Yeah.
And let your kids enjoy the movie.
There is another one, Minecraft movie audience reaction ranked.
Yeah, we got this one here. Here we go.
Who are you? I am Steve.
It's kind of like Deadpool and Wolverine when people were showing reactions to the opening scene.
Yeah.
When Bye 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 was playing.
Yeah,
it was
but
like
it's more pronounced.
Yes.
In this case.
They're the villagers. They're total pacifists and eat buttloads of bread. They love crushing walls. Most of it, boots of swiftness, diamond armor, full set. And this is a crab. These elements in different.
That was a different theater than the other one. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's charming for sure. Kino Corner, friend of the show, gave it was a very viral tweet actually.
Yep.
In his first impression from the movie. That was the wildest theater experience of my life. Most of the audience were middle schoolers, and they would clap and hoot and holler whenever one of the meme lines was said, or when they recognized something from the game. When Jack Black said chicken jockey, the theater erupted into sheer pandemonium. Kids were cheering, clapping, and jumping on tops of seats. Whenever Jack Black sang, the kids would get up and start dancing in the aisles. They acted like this wasn't a movie, but a rock concert. It was a complete expression of a mix of genuine love for Minecraft and irony poisoning, and the result was pure chaos for 100 or so minutes. This is probably the proper way to see this film.
Yeah.
So don't wait for it to go on streaming. Get the real experience where everyone's screaming.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Get us to a second one.
Chicken jockey crisis party.
Chicken jockey.
We should have a chicken jockey party.
Okay.
Thank you.
Warner Brothers, right now, do not dump this thing on streaming. Leave it in the theaters for as long as you can. I know that during CinemaCon, they were having all these debates between the theater owners and the studios about creating mandatory 45-day windows for theater releases for movies, which means the movies have to not suck for them to be worth staying in the theaters for 45 days. But look, I wanted to see Black Bag. It's already on Apple TV+.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that now. You have to leave movies like this in theaters for longer than just 15, 30 days. They need time to stew, and this movie could easily make $1 billion. Look, it's getting large play in all of the premium format, like large format screens and stuff like that. People were saying that the only ones that weren't sold out were like the 3D ones. I can't believe they even still do 3D.
Wow.
But yeah.
They have more often. They have 4D.
It hasn't opened yet in Japan or Korea.
Oh.
And Japan did, granted, I guess Super Mario Brothers was created in Japan, so it did like $100 million in Japan.
That's expected.
But still, those are two huge markets that will make this movie a lot of money once it comes out.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because one of the things that we talk, like I guess we don't really cover this as much, but I always wonder where they get their numbers from. Like, where do they get their numbers for their opening weekend projections? Like, the only thing I can assume is that it has to do with pre-sale tickets and I guess general interest on trailers and stuff like that. How do you gauge stuff like that? But I don't know. And how can, like, who's, in most cases, the idea would be like somebody's getting fired if they project really high and it goes really low. But theoretically, somebody should get fired if they projected low and it does really, really well, because it's somebody's job to know when they have winners.
But they're incentivized also to project low so that it can sound more impressive.
But 65 is not the same thing as like 65 and then doing 85 makes sense as far as low projection. 65 and then doing 163 means somebody isn't doing their job.
Yeah.
Right? So this movie was also like, it's I think as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, the biggest third-party advertising campaign they have ever run, meaning like product integration with other stuff.
I went to McDonald's and I saw they had the Minecraft meal.
McDonald's, McDonald's, Oreo, Doritos. Yes. All you need now is Mountain Dew.
They changed the app icon for Reddit to Minecraft.
Yeah.
To promote the movie, like that type of thing.
I guess, look, when I say that nobody saw this coming, I just mean that, like, I think everybody knew that this movie was going to win the box office this weekend. I don't think they expected it to be the cultural hit that it was, but that might be a repercussion from the fact that Hollywood doesn't really care about young men at all. Like, they do not care about making things that young men enjoy, and the things that young men do enjoy, they want to change and make it for women. And I was actually having this thought the other day. So the logic used to be, when it came to advertising, that you always advertise to women because women have the majority of the purchasing power, because the argument was always like, even if the man's at work, the woman's the one who has the credit card and controls where the money goes in the house, right? Well, people aren't getting married at the same rates anymore. People are staying single for longer. Men have all of these niche interests that they enjoy. Theoretically, a large portion of the block of people that you want to get money from these days are men who have either disposable income or they're just not married and don't have those expenditures. So you need to start making movies that appeal to them. Do a Fortnite movie. Do a Fortnite movie. The Skibbity Toilet movie will be even funnier. Make Michael Bay. It has to have 10 gazillion explosions, and every single one of them needs to be an Easter egg.
I don't know how I feel about it, because you told me that a lot of people are saying the Minecraft movie just objectively sucks.
I mean, yeah. Does anybody care what, like, when was the last time we cared what critics thought?
Are you saying critics thought that?
All the adults that I talked to, they're like, look, it wasn't made for me. I took my kids. I had no idea what was going on. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't objectively matter whether, over the weekend, we'll get to the 20. Over the weekend, I posted about this. I said, nobody saw this coming. And they said, that doesn't make it a good movie. I'm like, those are completely separate discussions bordering on irrelevance.
I do think it matters that it should be a good movie. Like,
okay, based on the standard of, like, how you perceive, like, a good movie to be structurally made.
I do think that movies should actually be good. Alvin McGough said, Bad Dragon has Minecraft products now. Enjoy that mental image. I don't know what that means.
So, okay. It should be good, right? Objectively, it should be good. But you know who I'm happy for? The theaters, who need movies to actually do well so that they can succeed. If I was the theaters right now, I would be putting up merch tables with Minecraft merch. Like, extensive amounts of, like for every movie like this, make a Skibbity Toilet movie and then put Skibbity merch out there, in a Fortnite movie with Fortnite merch right there.
Like gangbusters, yeah.
Yeah. Like, they need to find ways to monetize because the studios aren't interested in helping the theaters.
What Kino Corner said about the genuine love of Minecraft mixed with irony poisoning really stood out to me.
Meaning that you're talking about the mimetic nature of it.
That they are going, I think a lot of like the Gen Z guys specifically are going to see this movie, and they're like up in an uproar of applause and jeering and screaming over these like brain rot moments that they like, but they're kind of doing so
It's still an
as
Easter
a way to. No, I know,
Yeah.
but they don't. They're making fun of the idea that they would like that.
Okay.
It's irony. They're going to the movie ironically to like make fun of the idea that they're that like passionate about it.
But they could have done this with millennials with like good Easter eggs in movies about characters that they care about, right? This is why Spider-Man No Way Home did as well as it did, right? Because they got to see Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield on screen together, and everybody cheers.
No, that's genuine. I'm talking about Gen Z though.
I know, but I'm saying
They're
they
not
could have
serious.
been they could have been doing this the whole time with millennials. They just didn't.
But this isn't the same thing. Gen Z isn't actually excited. They're making fun of the idea that they would be excited.
I mean, is that true of the older ones and not the younger ones? Are the younger ones actually
the
excited?
younger
and
ones, because they're kids, they actually like it. But
Okay.
the Gen Z guys who are showing up to these theaters and cheering
But the
about Chicken Jockey,
people
they
we were
are
talking
cheering
about-
because it's funny.
people we were talking about though were going with whole families. So if it's a family taking a bunch of kids there, those kids actually are interested. It's the adult Gen Zers that aren't necessarily
That's what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
So
The ones that showed up to the Minion movie in tuxedos.
well, then you need to find a middle ground between something that makes Gen Z adults want to go ironically and younger Gen Z go organically.
I guess that would still be Gen Alpha though,
Yes.
if we're talking about the kids that like Minecraft these days.
Then you have to find a way to split the difference between the two. Where what would that be for millennials in Gen Z? Like, what would millennials go to ironically that Gen Z would go to organically? I can't think of anything.
No, because Gen Z doesn't do anything without a tinge of irony.
Well, no, that's not,
Everything
yeah.
Gen Z does or likes has some tinge of irony in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's just off about that to me.
We will keep following it. We'll look and see what it comes out with its second weekend, but it definitely was a gigantic surprise. Also, sucks to suck if you're Snow White because it lost out to a Jason Statham action movie and The Chosen Final Supper, which did have a dope cover. Looked like a rap cover.
Yeah. it was
All
cool.
right, let's do some super chats.
Red Snow said, PCC is the RKO of podcasts. It came out of nowhere and I love it. What does that mean?
I didn't see it. What does it say?
The RKO of podcasts?
Oh, Randy Orton. That's his finishing move, and he always hits it out of nowhere.
Oh, well, thank you. JJ said, discuss more conspiracy theories on PCC. Yeah, we were in the habit of making conspiracy videos more often last year, I guess.
We would have to find. We would have to find something.
We had concepts of a plan for other videos in the future, but the one I think that did the best was the Tom Hanks one, right?
Was it? Was
I
that the one
believe
that-
so. The highest performing.
Might have been.
You weren't here for this one, but we talked about Taylor Swift allegedly being the daughter of the high priestess of the Church of Satan.
That's come up before, yeah.
And we've talked about Dead Internet Theory. That one was popular. We talked about there was another one that was really interesting. Oh, we did a video about Harley Pasternak.
Yep.
I wonder if there's
And then
any
people
more
were
that's
like,
gonna come
"That's
out about him."
old," when we did that.
Yeah, but it's like, does it matter if most people still don't know who he is or what he's about?
Yep.
Like, that's new information to them. Christina Lee said the Beatles still matters in 2025, still inspiring and loved by my Gen Z son and his friends. However, the movie will probably ruin their legacy.
What about the new? I just saw that they're making the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out is being split up into two parts. So it's like Michael Infinity
come on.
War and Michael Endgame.
Really?
Michael the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Oddly enough, I would imagine that a Michael Jackson biopic would actually do really, really well if they released it, say, at the holidays and would just made it one part.
Yeah. Don't do the multi-parter. That's horrible. The Beatles being a 4-part series is just such an insult to like the value of my time.
Yep.
And I'm surprised to hear that your Gen Z son likes the Beatles. That's incredibly
Yeah,
rare.
it would have to be a millennial who's like, I was born in the wrong generation.
Genuinely, like most Gen Zers either don't care or dislike the Beatles. So I am surprised to hear that. $20 from Pop Culture Junkie. In a Snow White post-mortem, Disney found no issues with Zegler from coworkers on previous films. However, Disney
Like
is
what
developing...
previous film? She did like one movie before that.
Hasn't she been in it for a long time now?
Yeah, but like Snow White was
I mean-
originally filmed. Like if we're talking, if they're saying here no issues from her her previous co-stars, that would have been like what, Shazam and West Side Story.
West Side Story, yeah.
That's it.
I mean, I imagine that she doesn't like Zachary Levi very much.
That would have been hilarious to see what they had to. Yeah.
However, Disney is developing a more thorough, some say overly invasive casting process with young talent having slim resumes.
Yeah, they got to start creating like real world obstacle courses for them to run where they make them go through a simulator where it's like, oh, this country invaded this country. What's your first move? What do you tweet about?
The correct answer is only nothing.
Yes. And the answer is always, I don't tweet about it. I don't say anything.
Yes.
Donald Trump just did this. What do you say? Nothing.
They do a Scantron test. It's just you bubble in yes or no.
Yeah.
Do you speak?
And the
Yes
answer
or
is
no?
always no.
So the answer is always no. Red Snow said, PCC Monday Night Raw and I don't work today. Let's flipping gong go. Also, praise be to Space King. Also, we praise PCC around these parts.
You'll have to let me know. How
Thank
is
you.
the build up to WrestleMania going? Like, is that going good? Like, what's John Cena doing? I suggested the other day, I said if John Cena wins at WrestleMania, assuming that's still going on, him versus Cody Rhodes, he should have a stipulation where they have to bring back that really ugly spinner title. The belt with the title that spins, because everybody hated it. And if he wins, then they have to use that belt for at least a year. That would be funny. Because he's a bad guy now, so he can make anybody else who has that championship belt have to carry around the stupid spinner belt.
This is ridiculous, but I actually just learned the other day what WWE stands for.
World Wrestling Entertainment?
Yeah.
Well, it used to be the World Wrestling...
I just never thought about
It
it.
used to be the World Wrestling Federation, but then they had to change their name because the World Wildlife Foundation or
Right.
something exists, and they got sued.
Right.
And they had their huge ad campaign, Get the F out! Get it?
That's funny.
Get the F out.
Shane H. Wilder said, we need to ban user from having any stone fruits until we can figure out what is going on. If he keeps it up, we'll ban him from citrus as well. What?
Is that something corn pop related?
I'm very confused.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. Gen Z women are speaking out about a new condition they suffer from that I was unfamiliar with called facial dysmorphia. It's like body dysmorphic disorder, except about your facial features. And these Gen Z women, especially on platforms like TikTok, say that they have no concept of what they actually look like. They have lost all sense of self and all sense of self-image and self-worth because of the prevalence of front-facing cameras on Zoom, on smartphones, on social media. It's almost unavoidable, and it has completely destroyed their psyches.
Wonder if it's like facial agnosia.
What is
which
that?
is like the I know somebody who has it. It's the inability to recognize faces.
It's like that, but it's about you. That's what it is. It's like the inability to recognize oneself in a photo or in the mirror or in a video.
Yep.
So that's what they seem to be describing. It's not mere self-hatred. It's not that they look in the mirror and dislike things that they see. It goes beyond that to the point where they have no idea what they really look like. It's kind of a form of like psychosis or also narcissism. But The Cut recently published an in-depth piece about this, interviewing different Gen Z influencers who claim that they suffer from this condition, saying, my facial dysmorphia destroyed my ability to be free. For these women, staring at their own faces online has made them unrecognizable to themselves. Nika Moti says she cannot go a day without obsessively photographing herself. The 20-year-old has over 50,000 selfies in her camera roll. She says, I take them throughout the day, like almost every hour. I'm trying to analyze how others see me so I know what they think I look like. It's an exhausting cycle, but it feels like the only way for me to understand or control how I look to others. This is where it veers into narcissism and not just a normal amount of insecurity that people have, because you're trying to exercise control over other people and their thoughts. And you, in a way, do not believe that the people around you have their own interior lives, because you believe, in a very strong sense, that they're all thinking about you.
Yeah, there's a reaction that I'm sure normal people have. Like if you see women on Instagram that take selfies or videos of themselves in the mirror, and it's not like a skit, it doesn't serve a purpose, it's literally just like I'm observing myself, that you kind of recoil at it. There's a deeply narcissistic nature to it beyond just typically taking a photo of yourself, but hey, look at me, this is what I look like. Yeah.
Nika says that she used to be confident in her appearance during her middle school years until she began building a presence on social media. She says, I started seeing videos of pretty girls who would go viral and everyone in the comments talking about how perfect they looked. Naturally, I just started comparing myself to all these videos and images online. My face structure just felt so different. That's what made me question whether I was truly pretty. She once had, she says that her confidence completely disappeared. She says that now her face is all she ever thinks about. And now it's gotten to the point where she doesn't socialize. She avoids social situations. Whenever I'm invited to go to plans, my first thought is, what do I look like today? And I then often make a last-minute decision based on whether I think I look good enough to be seen by others. She's canceled more plans than she has attended.
That's worse than like when you're somebody who is like using drugs and you make plans when you're in a good mood and then you get sober and then suddenly the plans are here and you're like, damn, I don't want to go.
But that's what you shouldn't lean into.
Yes.
That's when you should actually fight that like instinct inside of you, and you will be happy that you did. And even if you're not, it just takes time, like repeated exposure therapy. And I've said that before. She now says she has been medicated for depression and anxiety, and in fact even admitted that when her symptoms or triggers for her facial dysmorphia strengthen, she ups her dosage on these SSRI medications, whatever she's taking.
I don't think that's how that works.
I don't either, but here she is in this article saying that this is the way she copes with it.
So she's taking like a long-term medication in an acute manner that doesn't work.
They have an interview with one expert on body dysmorphia. They say, when considering if someone is suffering from BDD, we usually ask, is the person thinking about perceived flaws for at least an hour a day? And do the concerns cause significant emotional distress or impairment in day-to-day functioning? They interviewed another alleged sufferer of this condition, Daisy Wilson, who is 19. She posts openly on TikTok to her followers about her struggles with facial dysmorphia. The term has been gaining traction on social media, and it describes the experience of having a warped perception of one's own face. I want to show a couple of these examples from TikTokers talking about having this condition, which I assume is self-diagnosed. And their comment sections are full of people completely relating.
Okay, here we go.
Facial dysmorphia, and as you can imagine, it's extremely difficult to deal with as a beauty creator. Try and steer away from showing myself doing my eyebrows or even doing eyeshadow and eye looks, just because I truly cannot stand that part of my face, because I just don't feel like I look like in my head, but I look like how I see, if that makes sense. I end up not using a lot of material that I film because I can't, after rewatching
Well, I mean, that's pretty par for the course when it comes to making movies and stuff. You know, for every hour you get like a minute of footage.
Well, yeah.
I just quite literally cannot stand the way I look. This has been an ongoing issue since I think I think I was 11 or maybe 10, around that age when I first started really not liking my face because my face is asymmetrical.
Okay, first of all, most people's faces are asymmetrical.
Everyone's.
Second of all, like there's literally the trope is like the reason why actors are as attractive as they are is because they fall like firmly into the golden ratio.
Sure,
like
yeah.
they're objectively more symmetrical than your average person.
That's why they have celebrity lookalikes.
Correct. Also, I can't imagine, maybe hers is only related to her face, but how does somebody who's so anal about their appearance get a tattoo at all? Like, how does any person who...
Or be an influencer.
Yes.
You know, but those things go hand in hand, right? You're constantly thinking of ways to project yourself or change yourself.
That's where the problem stems from. When I first realized it, I started actively like hating the way I looked especially because the way other people see me is different than how I see myself in the mirror. It's really hard for me to deal with, honestly. Like, if you are dealing with something similar, I'm sure you know exactly how I feel. It's really tough to find yourself beautiful. It's really tough I hate taking pictures, hate being in videos, because I can't really stand when other people are taking video or picture of me because like I know.
Okay, so it's about control. So she's objectively making a video while she's putting her makeup on.
Yes.
So it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about control over what gets put out. Now, what you might actually learn is that things were like, there's a reason why society feels so sick now, which was like back in the day, you took a photo on a film camera or a disposable and then you waited however many days to get those pictures developed. And there was something innately beautiful about the lack of pretense.
And that in a lot of cases,
photos.
you only had one take.
Yes.
And it just was what it was. And maybe it wasn't the best.
The
but
crazy thing was like, so this is something we did in skating. Like when we would go do dangerous skating tricks and shoot photos. And you just hope that the photo came out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you worked with people that knew what they were doing, and more often than not, they did. But there were times when you would do tricks that could legitimately hurt you if you didn't land it, and then you waited like a week to find out whether the photo actually came out the right way. And then when digital became a thing, you never had to do that anymore. You could take your pick. You could try it. You could land it as many times as you want until you got the exact right one that you wanted. And that's even less vain, in my opinion, because of the risk than the idea of just finding the right selfie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Her comment section is full of people relating.
Like, she's objectively, like, I'm kind of fascinated by it because she's not putting herself out there in a bunch of makeup here in like the best dress or the most flattering
head
clothes.
in a towel, no makeup. She's doing her skincare routine. She's not dressed up or anything. There's no flattering like angle or whatever that she's chosen. But because it's, you know, under her control, as you said, that's why it's okay. One person said, "This is why I cry every night." Wow, the way you just explained exactly how I feel about pictures. It doesn't look like me. What do I look like? This is me. Hate when I see myself in pictures. I see only ugly.
I mean, look, there are things about my appearance that I wish I could change. Like, absolutely. Like, for sure.
It goes for almost anything.
I get it. Like, do I wish I could look a little bit different? Sure. But, like, the internet really was the death knell for young women, and I do feel like they never stood a chance.
We have another video from a TikToker who is actually wearing a face filter while recording herself talking about her facial dysmorphia. She's wearing a face filter.
Dysmorphia is a real thing, but why is no one talking about face dysmorphia? I know I'm not talking about the inverted filter thing. I obviously see myself in the mirror every day, and I'm like, yep, okay, I think I know what I look like. That looks like me. And then let's say I'm out with a friend and she takes 20 photos of me. Most of them I'll be like, yep, okay, that's what I think I look like. And then there will be like 5 where I'm like, hold on, that is a different person. That doesn't look anything like me. Like that's different than what I see in the mirror every day. And then there will be 3 more where I'm like, that's also a different person. Like, that doesn't look like me either. So which one do I look like? And she's like, dude, what are you talking about? Those all look the same. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're telling me that all 3 of these people you think look the same, look like me. Meanwhile, 2 of them I feel like I've never seen in my entire life. And now to this day, I have always been confused about like what I actually look like. I'm genuinely like, I'm not sure what I look like. Okay,
There's a comment that said, "How do I fix it? I'm always obsessing over my looks every single day." They're living in hell because they choose to live in hell.
It's a extreme form of narcissism that they can't help. It's not narcissism in the sense that they're. I'm saying that they can't.
They could.
They could get help. They could fix it if they found a way. But I'm saying that they've fallen into this pattern, and I don't mean that in a malicious way. I'm saying that they have a deeply narcissistic interest in their own image that they don't know how to control.
Right. And it's almost like they didn't know anything different because people my age have had the front-facing camera in a smartphone since, well, yeah, like 15 years ago.
People were happier before they looked at themselves that much every day.
There are other terms like Zoom dysmorphia because people using Zoom for work or school, and Snapchat dysmorphia as well. From a distorted self-image people develop after staring too long in the front camera. They scrutinize their perceived flaws. And you might think that the solution for them could be, well, if you point out your insecurities, you can just change them, right? Just go get work done, and then you won't have these hyperfixations anymore. But the problem is that once they get those surgeries or those cosmetic procedures done, the hyperfixation just moves to something else. And it moves on to something else.
I mean, that's
and the cycle continues until you look like Madonna.
It's the human condition that, like, whatever is consuming your life that you need to fix, you fix, and then it moves on to something else. I've experienced that in my life, and like that's why it's one of the reasons why I laugh when people say that celebrities don't have any worries. I was like, yes, they have money, but they have they're just going to find something else to be upset about. It's human nature to find something else to worry about.
This was the, I think, worst part of the cut piece. They say some facial dysmorphia sufferers have turned to cosmetic procedures in an effort to help cope. About a decade ago, one of them decided to get a rhinoplasty and filler in her jawline. She says, getting cosmetic surgery to keep my facial dysmorphia under control has gotten me in a fair amount of credit card debt. But I've thought to myself, even if I end up being poor, I don't care. I just want to look good and feel good about myself.
It's really heartbreaking.
She is in credit card debt to a doctor to take a scalpel to her nose over and over and over again and then fix the mistake from last time. And this is just going to follow you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Any plastic surgeon who's not a sociopath will say no more often than they say yes. In fact, one of them says in this article, she has had to say no to more patients than yes, stressing that these surgeries are not a cure for facial dysmorphia or for screen time. She says, I find that the more chronically online people are, the more they focus on unattainable or difficult to attain features, such as glass skin, perfect facial symmetry, or lifting that can only be achieved through surgery. It's difficult to tell what is realistically possible when filters and photoshopping are the norm. So she has people coming into her office as a plastic surgeon showing her examples of what they want, which are not real. And she, if she were less honest, would probably tell them that she can achieve that, and they end up botched. But
how did this start? When people would say, this is a celebrity haircut I want, and then they try to give it to you and it doesn't work?
I mean, I guess, yeah, if it's like a fake, if it's a wig or like extension.
I mean, sometimes you might have hair that doesn't agree with that. Like sometimes that person's hair is just thicker, or that person's hair is this, or that.
Nika says insecurities around her face still weigh heavily. To this day, social media makes it hard for me to feel comfortable in my own skin. Thank you.
Thank you. Look, the internet is not the place to be if you can't handle it, right?
Yeah, but ironically, almost all of the women that they're interviewing are professional influencers who put their faces out there on video and picture for like hundreds of thousands of people to see.
People in the chat always point out how close together my eyes are. I'm actually gonna have surgery to have them pushed farther apart.
I don't know if that exists.
It's gonna be eye separator surgery.
Maybe they can like splice together your DNA with Anya Taylor-Joy's
it'll
DNA.
end up somewhere in the middle.
And yeah, make some kind of mutant of both of you.
I actually think what it is more that my face filled out more, and it's just wide. It's literally just wider. Like if you look at older images when my face was thinner, it just wasn't like that. So, but the thing is, like, there's things that you just have to accept about yourself. There's things you can change. Like if you're somebody who's like, look, I wish I didn't weigh as much, you can diet, you can put in a lot of work to lose weight. But if it's about stuff that you can't change without surgery, like we're talking nose job or chin or something like that, you know, learning, it's so weird. There was a time when the message in Hollywood would have been about accepting yourself. It would have been hypocritical, but it would have been the message. There was an episode of Bones back in like 2005 where they can't identify this woman. Like she can't even identify this woman because she's had so much plastic surgery that they can't recreate her face. And the whole episode is basically eschewing plastic surgery as barbaric. And the irony being that it's an industry full of people. It's being made by an industry full of people that love plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Fine. The message is still good. But now it's like they don't even try to go with the "you're beautiful just the way you are" message.
Well, what is the message now?
I don't know if there is. I guess because everything's so decentralized now.
No, the message went from "you're beautiful no matter what" to "beauty doesn't exist."
Yeah.
It's more nihilistic now.
Yeah.
The claim is literally that beauty in an objective sense doesn't exist. Therefore, you don't need to struggle to attain it. They legitimately think beauty is a social construct or some kind of mimetic invention of humanity.
It's white Western idea of what beauty is.
Yeah, and the hard truth is beauty is hardwired into the human brain. It is objective. It's real. And there's no way around that. There's no way around the genetics you're born with either. But what you can control is how you react to it, how you interact with other people and yourself. And I think the most egregious example that is listed in this article is people who prevent themselves from interacting and going out to social gatherings because they're worried about how they look to anyone there. If that's what you're doing, like basically your life isn't worth living at that point, and that's your choice.
That's sad.
So, I mean, I think that they need to stop telling themselves positive affirmations in the mirror every day, telling themselves you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. You're never going to believe a mantra like that. Like if you just tell yourself, I just have to tell myself like every day that I'm pretty and then maybe one day I'll believe it. No. What you have to do is something else that's worthwhile with your time, with your life. Yeah. And then you'll actually have self-worth.
For guys, either learn to be funny or get successful at something.
It's for girls, it's about relationships. Yeah. It's about pouring yourself into other people.
Yeah. For guys, it's either have a really, really good sense of humor or get really, really good at something. And people are always going to look up to people who have mastered skills or, you know, are one of the best in their field, something like that. That's like men can avoid that by...
Well, for the young men, on the other hand, they have the looks maxing trends. Mogwarts, all of that. Yep. It has like more of a tongue-in-cheek vibe to it, but you can see this is plaguing both young men, and young women.
I wasn't saying men should become funny for themselves, because yes, I know that many comedians are miserable. I'm saying no, women will love you if you're funny.
True. That is true.
That's not a joke, actually. That actually is true.
All right, let's go to Super Chats. Shane H. Wilder sent us a 20. Think about staring in the mirror too long. You will suffer from the Troxler effect, and your face will start to morph as your brain gets bored. Now couple that with a front-facing camera and filters, and you forget what you look like.
Also, I want to point out that the mirror you're looking in will affect this. So we have like a bathroom here at work that has a mirror that I swear makes me look like 10 pounds.
Yeah, what is with that mirror?
And that is the bet. Like if you're gonna go out, right, on a date, I think I need to get everybody the make and model of this mirror to put it in their house. Like you will feel like $1 million.
Well, I think allegedly those are the types of mirrors they put in Target dressing rooms so that you're more likely to buy clothes. Yeah,
I'm telling you,
all a big scam.
I'm gonna use that mirror from now on. Like then I see what Olivia's talking about when I look at myself in that mirror.
You're like, okay, skinny
Okay,
legend.
let's go.
JJ said, would love to see Mary on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Ooh, I don't know if the rest of the world would like to see that. I haven't gotten an invite for the record, but
Let's do.
wasn't really looking for one.
Let's do 2 more.
Ulvin McGoth said, 1 month since unlocking chronic back pain. Yay. Oh gosh, sorry to hear that. I hope that you can recover. Joshua Throckmorton said, in y'all's opinions, is Minecraft doing well because there's no competition?
I think it would have done well either way. And it's going to
Yeah.
have some competition eventually. I don't forget what it was, if it's How to Train Your Dragon or what the next one that's coming out is, but something else is coming out fairly soon.
I feel like if both of those came out at the same time, you wouldn't have seen such an amazing opening weekend for Minecraft, I mean. Because the How to Train Your Dragon one is going to do really well.
Yep,
I imagine.
that one's kind of under the radar right now.
And then Sinners already came out, but we'll get into that.
No, that's
in a
April
second.
18th.
It is?
Yeah, it's having its world
Oh, okay.
premiere, which is not the same thing as
I see.
getting released. The Accountant comes out on April 25th, but that's not the same demographic. These are vastly different demographics. I don't know what the next one. I guess Thunderbolts in May would be the
That's
next
not
one.
Really the same thing.
It would be technically for millennials,
Yeah,
but that's the closest thing that I can think of to the next.
I feel like millennials don't care that much about Minecraft, though. It's Gen Z, really.
I don't know.
Maybe
Final Destination Bloodlines in May. That's millennials too. That'll do well. All right. Let's move on.
All right. Haley Steinfeld is currently on the press run for Sinners alongside Michael B. Jordan, her co-star. And many people have noticed they have an electric chemistry together, both in the movie and on the press tour together. Unlike the one that she had with Shameik Moore, who was on the Spider-Verse series with her, it was different. I think that people noticed Shameik Moore had a bit of a schoolboy crush on Haley Steinfeld when they were promoting Spider-Verse together, and it was not returned. It was not reciprocated. For the record, though, Haley Steinfeld is currently engaged to Josh Allen, quarterback on the Bills, and very happy with him. And people just continue hoping that she will leave Josh Allen for one of her co-stars. It will not be Shameik Moore, in their opinion. They think that Michael B. Jordan has swooped in to steal Josh Allen's girl.
I mean, these are just internet shippers who are the most miserable people on planet Earth.
Yeah, I agree. But you know who's more miserable? Shameik Moore. So everyone was saying that Shameik Moore was being creepy. They were saying that he was basically engaging in workplace harassment against Haley Steinfeld because he was acting like they had something that they were like on a wavelength that they were not on.
Shameik Moore doesn't look like Michael B. Jordan.
No, he doesn't. Okay, so difference being, I looked this up. I looked up their stats. Michael B. Jordan is 6 feet tall. Shameik Moore is 5'8". Michael B. Jordan is 38 years old. Shameik Moore is 28 years old, I believe.
She's not going for, well, I guess she's only going for a guy her age if he's like a pro football player.
Right, exactly. So Shameik Moore just
and
like...
and Josh Allen's like 6'5",
wasn't.
you said.
Yeah, Josh Allen is 6'5". So, you know, I'm hoping she is happy and secure with her man and in her relationship, and that's not going anywhere. But people really want her and Michael B. Jordan to get together. They're shipping this, and shippers are the weirdest people ever.
They really
It's
are.
weird enough when it's fictional characters. Like, even that, I'll understand that. They're not real. You're not intruding on anyone's life. But when they're real people and you're shipping them, that's like another level of creepy.
Even then, I'd argue that shippers ruined a lot of modern entertainment too.
This is the kicker in all of this is that Haley Steinfeld seems to be responding so well to Michael B. Jordan's advances when, in response to Shameik Moore, she was visibly creeped out and wanted nothing to do with it. It's literally the HR meme in action. Look, where she's like, you know, the Chad comes into her cubicle and it's Michael B. Jordan. And then when Shameik Moore shows up, she's like, hello, human resources. It's literally that, especially you can see in this video of her doing an interview with Entertainment Tonight. There she is talking about Michael B. Jordan and he's side-eyeing her. out
That
of
kind of
yeah,
friend,
out of sight.
100%. Good thing you're saying those things right now, Haley, because you know who's standing right behind you right now? Go away! We're talking about you. What is that?
See, the thing is, though, is even if Shameik Moore looks more like him, it doesn't matter because Michael B. Jordan's a legitimate star.
Well, there's also
and
more
very powerful in Hollywood now.
There's more charisma. There's more
Yes.
riz with Michael B. Jordan, evidently.
There was this clip as well.
Yeah, this is them doing hot ones together, and he gets up and goes across the table. Gets in her
He's
face.
invading her personal space.
No, shit! You're welcome.
Again, Shameik Moore would have been.
Yeah, it would have been pepper spray immediately. But she's having a good time, looks like.
Yep, they have very good chemistry.
This is them in Sinners.
He's scared. I'm excited to see that movie. I don't know if I'm going to go see it in theaters, but I am excited to see that movie. And I do feel bad for people in this world too, because now they have to have their whole personal lives dissected based on secondary recollections and photos taken out of context.
Based on a couple videos.
Yes.
And some photos of you. You basically are with someone you're required to take photos with and be friendly with for your job.
Her face looks really weird in that photo.
Yeah, I think it was just that she was blinking or something.
Yeah.
But aside from that, she's a beautiful girl.
Yep.
People are saying they're an it couple. Don't let your fiance stop you from finding your next boyfriend. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what it said.
I mean, okay, you're saying that about someone you don't know. Do you remember that? But Shameik Moore and Josh Allen are somewhere punching the air.
Yeah, they are.
I'm picturing Shameik Moore. There's just a single tear just rolling down his face.
This was my favorite. Yeah, he cracked that.
Josh Allen in shambles, said one in the comments.
No. Here's the thing. Josh Allen.
Does he have anything to worry about?
Josh Allen, well, look, he's going to have to play a little harder next year. They're going to have to, division championship isn't going to be enough.
She's married, bozo. Keep your cuck fantasy to yourself.
I mean, that's never,
some people think
that
this
is
totally
that has
made up.
never stopped famous people from cheating on each other before.
Well, okay.
They don't tend to have lots of morals.
I have probably said this hot take before on the show, but it seems like an appropriate time to reiterate it. I do think in situations where you really know the person and it's up to your judgment, you better have the right one, and you're okay with possibly losing this person in your life altogether, if you really feel like they're about to marry someone they should not marry and you want to make a move, you want to shoot your shot.
You mean literally the person when they say, does anybody object to this union?
Yes.
And then somebody
but
goes,
not at the wedding. Do not do that at the wedding. I'm saying before that point, you should have made a move a long time ago. And it has to be the right moment. It is okay to shoot your shot. I do believe that it is okay to shoot your shot with someone if they are not married.
This is my favorite response.
But do you agree?
I don't know how I feel about that. No, I disagree.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's not your place.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but it happens.
It happens. I'm not saying it's right, but it does happen. But I don't think that's right.
I think...
okay, so there's the trope.
It depends.
There's the trope in the movies, right?
Yeah.
Where the guy knows he's the right one for her, and he's got to say something, he's got to do something, and he's framed as heroic. But the thing is, the only way that ever works in the movies is if the guy that she's with is clearly a piece of shit. Okay?
Right.
They never show it as a good guy who this guy just happens to think he's the one for her.
So in The Office, you wouldn't know this, but I'm pretty sure Jim waits for Pam to already be broken up with Roy, her fiance, before they ever get together. And people like that story too. He didn't make some kind of grand gesture.
Then you have to but then the thing is is he orbiting her? Yeah. So you're orbiting, but you're not making your move. Whatever. I don't know how I feel about all that, but I do know that it's not your place to try and break up a relationship if it's happy and healthy.
Okay, happy and healthy are subjective terms.
Okay, then you're going to be automatically predisposed to thinking it's not well when you're the one who wants in. Also, it's her fault if she's then using some dude as like a sap sounding board for the downsides in the relationship.
That's a red flag in and of itself. Yeah. But here's the thing. There's a difference between being what breaks up a relationship and simply being there, expressing interest, and letting what happens happen. Like, especially if it's the guy and it's a girl who's like, whatever, she's in a relationship and he's not. And he says, you know, he expresses his interest, but without putting her in a position where she's cheating on the guy she's with.
Yes.
And she can make the decision on her own time. Whether she wants to end the friendship or end the relationship.
I still think
you know what I mean?
I still think you're wrong, but if I had to choose between the putting her in a position to cheat and making your feelings known, I guess do that one, but I still don't think it's right.
I just think
But I also think that whoever the person is that's allowing that, like, it depends on how much leeway we're giving that person as to whether they actually understand that this person's clearly interested in them and they're playing dumb.
Yeah.
Then they're not a good person either.
Right.
So everybody looks bad in this one.
The pitfalls come when, like, of course every guy is gonna know that he's the one and think that he knows that he's the
everyone's
one
the hero of their own story.
Right, but most of the time you're not that guy, pal.
No,
so you better have good judgment, or, you know, like with any guy who believes himself to be in the friend zone, you better be okay with destroying that friendship when you express interest, because otherwise,
look, there's
no one
20
wins.
years of movies where guys got this into their head that they thought that they were going to be they were there and they just didn't see me and stuff like that. And that damaged a whole generation of dudes who thought that that was going to work to their benefit and created orbiters.
Definitely. Don't stay in the friend zone. Do something. Either end the friendship or start a relationship. Those are your two options.
And I still think it's wrong. I guess I disagree. I don't think you make those feelings.
I am pro grand gestures.
Keep your grand gestures to single women, fellas.
Of course, ideally, yes.
My opinion.
Ideally, single, of course. But, you know, the world is a complicated place.
Poor Shamik Moore. More than anything, poor Shamik Moore.
Right. Hope he's doing well right now. We might need to call in a wellness check for him. All right.
Let's finish these super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, I looked it up. Clay Aiken got into politics in North Carolina. Yeah, that's what I remembered him, because I lived in North Carolina at the time, and Scotty McCreery is also from North Carolina.
Can I be honest? I don't know who Scotty McCreery is.
I think he won American Idol.
The name sounds familiar, but I could be thinking
I'm pretty
of
sure he
something.
won American Idol.
Okay.
As a country singer, but I could be wrong. Pop Culture Junkie said, Brett, you are so right. The folks... Oh, I already read that one. Corn Pop. Hey, Mary, one date, maybe.
Eyes. Popcorn bucket.
I don't know what that means, but, like, no, I don't know. But Omega Red Fan said, Williams and Norton collide and the catch is blown. I'm Ranch Wilder. Is that a reference to Angels on the Outfield?
Yes.
Okay.
Ranch Wilder is one of the greatest announcers, the pettiest announcer in all of human history.
Did you ever watch Bull Durham?
Yes. Long time ago.
What a notoriously shit movie.
I don't even remember it well enough to have an opinion.
I just remember because I always went to Durham Bulls games and they would play clips of the movie all the time, and I was like, "What is this shit?"
I'm predisposed to loving sports movies either way. But Ranch Wilder was one of those great, like, he's not the villain of the movie, but he is the villain of the movie, because there's not really a villain in a sports movie per se.
The villain is the other team.
Yeah, but you're playing multiple teams, and
unless it's like Cobra Kai, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that movie's amazing. If you haven't watched Angels in the Outfield in a long time, you should go rewatch it. It's got like an insane amount of like actors who ended up really, really famous. Matthew McConaughey's in it for like 10 seconds. Adrian Brody's in it for like 10 seconds.
You should watch The Blind Side. That's a really classic sports related movie.
I never saw it.
You should watch it.
Is that the one with what's her name? Not
Who?
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Yeah. I never saw it.
It's a good one.
And there was all that stuff that came up last year about that case.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? Shane H. Wilder said Minecraft has been out since 2009, so it hits 3 generations, younger millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha. Damn thing has been out longer than GTA 5. Yeah, so I guess there are some millennials, but I would say for the most part, it's Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And I do remember it being like a big deal when I was in middle school, and I'm shocked that it's stuck around for so long. Similar to Snapchat. Like, I'm surprised that millennials use Snapchat, and now, like, young kids also use Snapchat. Not that they should. They definitely should be banned.
Evan King in the chat says Rookie of the Year is good too. Not just Rookie of the Year, but also Little Big League, which is about the Minnesota Twins, where Ken Griffey Jr. gets to play a bad guy. You should go watch that movie, guys, if you haven't seen that one in a long time.
Pop Culture Junkie said the Warner Brothers box office predictors think repeat business will be a main driver of second weekend and ongoing numbers for Minecraft, urging bosses to keep the film in theaters.
Yep, keep it in theaters. Don't let it out. And somebody mentioned Major League. I prefer Major League 2 to Major League 1 just because we owned Major League 2 on VHS. We did not own Major League 1, or maybe we did, and like the VHS got, like the tape got eaten. Maybe you're too young to know what that means.
The tape got eaten.
So like
I've heard of that before.
Your VCR would screw up and the tape would get ripped out of the VCR, out of the tape.
Yeah.
And then it was ruined.
I've seen that on a show before when that happens.
Yeah. That happened to some of my favorite movies.
Well, it comes out of the player, right?
Yeah. So like the
streamers.
So like imagine that this is the tape. It has like a flip on the top, and then inside that's where the tape plays through, and it would get pulled out, and then you try to pull the tape out of the VCR, and the tape would get pulled, and it would ruin it. That's bad stuff.
Mr. Moose Knuckles sent us $5 Canadian without a message. Thank you. Shane H. Wilder said, I was saying we need to ban Usher from stone fruit, like cherries. Oh, until we can figure this out. Sorry about the typo. Yeah, I didn't catch on that was sent when we were in the middle of talking about Usher. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Usher just like needs to be locked up. This guy is
for the good of
out
for
of
the
control.
Good of, wait. What if Usher's the one that wants to speak up for some woman who's taken? Is Usher allowed to do that now?
Married is totally different. If someone's married, I'm just saying that unless you're married, you are single.
Nobody's speaking up at my wedding.
I'm just saying, unless you're married, you are on the market. If you're married, you are officially off the market. That's the only benchmark that makes sense.
Okay. I disagree on this one, but we'll Usher's probably doing this to people every day.
Because it's like, okay. If you like, especially if the girl's not even engaged and she's just like dating some guy that you think, you better think that you're better than him. You know, as a guy, you better think that you are better than that guy.
Well, we have a confidence issue in this country.
Yeah, but you should have the confidence that you're better than the guy that she's with, and the proper response to "I have a boyfriend" is, "Do you like him?"
Nah.
That's my opinion.
Nah.
That's my opinion. Red Snow said, I'll keep in touch about wrestling. I signed up for Peacock but forgot my password. Gonna figure it out so I can watch WrestleMania.
I hate it when that happens.
Everything has a damn password these days.
Yep.
Pop Culture Junkie said, geez, the Disney casting change triggered a horrible thought. The casting process will now include a simulated junket interview from hell. Mary, you want the interview job? Yes. Yes, I do. I would love to be that person. It's going to be some future Jenna Ortega, some future starlet. And I'll be like, so what was it like seeing your Thor ass on screen for the first time?
Everyone loves that interviewer.
I love him. I'm obsessed with him.
Here to ruin everybody's movie.
Like, I'm his stan.
Yeah.
I'm his biggest stan. Yurishima Otaru said none of this is dysmorphia. Well, if it isn't, then what is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not in the DSM, if that's what you're asking. Rapscallion said, maybe it's just because I've had a big scar on my face since I was 6, but these people worrying about faces to this degree sound completely delusional. I think they even know that they sound delusional, but they just can't stop.
Yeah. Plus, they're encouraged by other people in their comment sections being like, oh my gosh, I have the same thing.
You're like creating a whole influencer brand out of being insecure too. So you are disincentivized from ever solving your problem because that's the reason people follow you. You're a dysmorphia influencer. It's dark.
A dysmorphia influencer.
That's what, like, yeah.
That's so depressing.
It's a here's what's wrong with me influencer. Drewish AF of Christendom said, why isn't Megan 2 titled The Herminator? Probably have some legal issues with that.
Just a little bit.
It's clever. Greg Duvier said, Brett, did Tim convince you to watch Star Trek, TNG?
The Next Generation.
The Next Generation. I have also not seen TNG except first contract movie. I would watch it if I got paid. Let's go.
Yeah, last week on Friday on IRL, somebody said, they super chatted about the fact that I've never watched Star Trek, and then it became like a joke where it's like, what if we paid you like $20 for every episode? I'm like, okay. I think Tim said $100. I'm like, now we're talking.
So are you going to do
No,
it?
no. I'm not watching. Like, especially the more people tell me I have to watch it. Just no. Like,
and then like it feels like getting paid to watch it is almost worse.
Yeah, I don't want to. You can't make me. You can't.
You're a
make me
free
watch Star
man.
Trek.
You know.
I shall break the shackles of conformity in this culture. I'm not watching it.
Only I can force you to watch something like Snow White.
Yeah, well,
that's for work. That's actually like, yeah. Corn Pop said 1 date without eyes. Yes, I don't know what that means. DC&C said Minecraft is the best-selling video game of all time. Why would anyone be surprised by its strong performance? Not good. Okay, was Barbie a good movie? The first half was all right.
Okay. Like, I like
it was a good concept.
Objectively, the first half of Barbie was
it was a good concept. It had a good aesthetic and costumes and stuff. That's what people were really showing up
also,
for.
look, I don't know how much that really meant. Look, Uncharted, which was a video game franchise plenty people have heard of, did $400 million at the box office. That's okay, I guess.
Not the best-selling video game ever.
Borderlands failed, and I tend to think that I used to believe that maybe putting the wrong people in the role. Mortal Kombat was a big-selling video game, and the new one didn't do as well as they wanted it to because of COVID, I suppose. But the sequel to Mortal Kombat was a huge flop, and nobody liked it. I guess actually no. I actually don't know what Mortal Kombat Annihilation ended up making at the box office. I could be completely wrong about that. But the point is like, look, you can't always predict success, even for things that are successful.
I just remember when the trailer came out and there was this, fat black woman in the trailer saying like, "Oh hell nah" or something. Everyone was like, "What are they really doing here? Like, this isn't a character in the Minecraft universe."
I guess Mario doing as well as it did and Mario being as successful of a franchise as it is does tend to trend that way. But if just
I want a Hello Kitty movie.
Just picking successful franchises was all it took, then they would do that. But that's obviously not the
When
fact,
is
not
the
the
Hello
truth.
Kitty movie? When do I get that? I deserve that.
I agree. Annihilation was so bad it's good. I can still watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation all the time. Doesn't matter that it's as awful as it is.
JJ said, "Come on, Mary, give Corn Pop a chance. He's a good guy."
Until then, JJ comes in and professes his love.
Just no.
And Corn Pop is like, back off.
DCNC said, PCC, don't do a biopic of people that are alive. Okay, biopics on people recently deceased. No.
How about just don't do biopics at all?
Who?
That's what I say. Don't do biopics at all.
Wait, who are you even referring to? Michael Jackson?
Is that really
That's not
recently
recent.
deceased? Yeah.
I don't object to the whole concept of a biopic. It's just kind of a cash grab because everyone's doing it. It's the closest thing you can get to an existing IP without it being an existing IP.
I also I got annoyed when everybody was talking about when I was like, Minecraft absolutely killed it at the box office. They're like, well, so what? It doesn't mean that it's good. I'm like, bro, that's a separate discussion. We'll have that discussion when we get to it. That's not really the point. If anything, it bolsters the point that I'm saying, it doesn't matter if a movie's good anymore as long as you put it on enough Doritos bags and enough Happy Meal toys.
That's true. That's kind of a black pill, but DCNC said,
Unless you're me and you love the slop.
Is facial dysmorphia men's fault? Probably right, like everything else. Sounds like another way chicks can be victims or fishing for compliments.
I did not see anything in that article that indicated that it was men's fault.
In fact, the word patriarchy did not show up even one time in the entire article.
Like, I didn't see them. If anything, it seemed that they were holding themselves accountable, saying that they couldn't stop themselves from looking at themselves and taking their picture.
Yeah, there
taking
was
their own picture.
no mention of men, no mention of the male gaze, the patriarchy, or anything else like that. They are blaming the technology and social media.
Oh, well, men created those technologies, so it's still men's fault.
I guess it was technically men. Yeah, if you go back far enough. DCNC said, I accidentally catch myself in the mirror once a month and think, WTF is that?
Bro,
You should probably look more often than that.
I mean, there's definitely times where I look at myself and I'm like, bro, you need to
fix
this
whatever
shit.
that is.
Whatever that is, Brett, you need to fix it.
Urashima Otaru said, it is neuroses that they keep feeding into.
Yeah.
They need behavioral therapy, not pills. They did suggest that in the article that they'd benefit from therapy, but I also am not so sure because then they just ruminate more. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary gives the standard Catholic answer of you are either married or single, and everyone loses their minds. Vocations and states of life are a thing. Yeah, my opinion is that before you're married, you in terms of your like canonical status, you are a single person, regardless of like your Facebook status. Okay, there's a difference between your Facebook status and your actual being. When you're married, it changes who you are. Like, because you're one flesh. It's a sacrament. That's different.
Well, I tend to disagree with
People
both
act like
Mary and Shane H. Wilder. on this
People
one.
act like they're married these days when they've like been in like a 1 week long situationship or something. So I think I'm actually closer to the truth. Ulvin McGoth said, I once said Mary can beat me and I'll stay in the relationship, so technically I asked first.
We're
I
about
would prefer to
2/3
block
of the
that
way.
out.
We're about 2/3 of the way to a third crisis party. It would be a fantastic way to get rid of this case of the Mondays that
It's a
we
cure.
all have.
It's the only cure we
I
know.
heard 3 crisis parties is the way to cure your case of the Mondays.
Shadow Zero said Kevin Bacon's new show Bondsman is pretty good.
I saw some trailers for it. Looks pretty gruesome, which is kind of cool looking, I guess. But it had some cool vibes in the trailer. I'm not sure if I'm gonna check it out. I'm rewatching okay, so me and what was I saying? No, I'm rewatching. I'm rewatching Longmire right now, which I really like, and everybody should go watch that.
DCNC said next time in the Hello Kitty line, do you even know who I am? Yeah, like I should get preferential treatment.
Where was the truck?
It was like near DC, nearby DC.
Okay.
They made a stop in Bethesda, Maryland.
To the people that are watching The Bondsman, how many episodes is it? I'd be interested to know.
The truck tours around the country.
So it was only in DC for like a little bit.
Yeah, they move around.
So where to go next?
Place to place. I don't know. They usually go to like the big cities.
Okay.
Bethesda, I didn't think was one of them. JJ said, hi, Mary. How'd you get into the goth/alt girl look? Didn't you or someone else ask me literally the same question last week? I don't remember what I even said. You know, I guess it's just looking at probably girls who were older than me, who were cooler than me back when that was cool, and I wanted to be them.
Olivia's in the chat. Yeah, Olivia won't watch Longmire with me. It doesn't
refuses.
It doesn't. We watch Blue Bloods. And otherwise she doesn't have any interest. Like I have a pretty good track record of picking like shows that I think she'll like, but my batting average in the last 2 or 3 suggestions have been far below 500.
You gotta step it up.
She really likes Blue Bloods, but I tried to get her to watch Numbers. She didn't like it. Longmire wasn't for her. I'm kind of starting to doubt myself a little bit.
You should.
My track record is falling.
High Voltage 75 said, Mary, are you having Taco Bell withdrawals? When Lent is over, are you going to rush right to Taco Bell and gorge? Probably not immediately after Lent is over, because I feel like on Easter, you really ought to have a nice brunch. That's just, Easter brunch is elite. But yeah, for the most part, I'm feeling okay. You know, I'm okay.
Are you like having daydreams about the first thing you're going to get once it's over, once Lent is over?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like it's always going to be a crunch wrap anyways. No surprise there. DCNC said, "Oi, corn pop, Mary ain't married yet. Shoot your shot." Yeah, I wouldn't say that that was a personal invitation, and I'm not saying it either to mean that women don't have their own decisions to make, but they do make the decisions about, you know, selecting, right? Women are the more selective sex.
I'm surprised by how many people in the chat today weren't fans of The Blind Side. They're telling you you're wrong.
I just remember it being a sweet movie.
Could be one of those things where...
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
How old were you when you saw it?
Like, really, when it came out, I was like 9.
You might rewatch it now and you're like, eh.
What year did that come out? Whatever year it came out.
I think it came out in 2013.
No, it was like before that, I thought.
Was it?
I thought. I don't know. CR Vox sent us a 20. Brett, what are your thoughts on the late Bernie Mac's Mr. 3000, one of my fave baseball movies?
I don't even remember it, so I don't got an answer for you, bro.
No,
I do. Bernie Mac was a national treasure, though, and he is missed.
Darth Doza said, Longmire was excellent. Brett, can you rate Wednesday 1 to 10? Tell me, is that a...
Mary would be the one to rate Wednesday for you.
Jose Canseco.
Tell me, is that a Jose Canseco bet? You didn't pay, tell me. You didn't pay money for this.
So you never watched Wednesday?
No. You did, though.
The second season is supposed to come out soon. I really liked Wednesday, not because it was good, but it was just kind of... It's about the way watching something makes you feel. Yeah. And it was fun. You know? 7. 7 is really high for me.
That is.
That's a really high rating for me. It's a 1 on the binary, so that's all that really matters. Maybe it was just that I was I was watching the whole season in one go while eating sushi and drinking boba, and I was just in a really good mood.
So I told you,
like what you said about
Wonka.
Wonka,
like if you're in a bad mood, it can affect your take on a movie or a show.
Yep. But that's rare for me.
That happens to me all the time. Unknown says iZombie was good. I feel like Olivia's in the chat telling people about the shows that we've watched that she liked versus the shows that we've watched.
Exposing you for your bad decisions.
For the ones that she didn't like. I would say that I've got like a list here of like the ones that succeeded. So I kind of use it as like a gauge to figure out what to suggest next.
You should watch together.
Scream Queens.
Yeah, you should. She would like that.
There's one more there.
Pop Culture Junkie said Warner's has a live-action animated Hello Kitty movie in production. So it's both? It's both live-action and animated? The way they did Minecraft?
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Olivia says, I liked iZombie. Yeah, well, we Veronica Mars was another fantastic suggestion. Everybody should watch Veronica Mars, at least the original seasons.
You should watch Gossip Girl.
Or I've still never seen Gossip. I've never seen Gossip Girl.
You saw Pretty Little Liars.
I loved Pretty Little Liars.
You should watch Gossip Girl.
At least the first 3 seasons.
It's right up your alley.
It's one of the most ridiculously unrealistic and stupid shows I've ever seen, and it makes me laugh. Also, because the set of that town is like the set of every town from that. So,
did Under the Dome have it?
Maybe not that exact. Oh, so I put on like 2 episodes of Under the Dome recently, and everyone's a dick. Everyone's such a dick to each other. Like, they're all mean. There's no redeemable character. Everybody's a piece of shit. Go watch Jericho instead.
I don't know if I remember that.
I put it on. I'm like, I don't want to watch all these people. These people are awful. They're awful people.
I don't remember that being in the show, personally.
Maybe I was just in a bad mood when I was watching.
I think
it.
so.
It seemed like everybody was a dick. Okay, one more.
DCNC said Usher just shooting his shot with those cherries. Okay, but she was married though. That's different. You can't do that. If she weren't married, then fine.
Ziggy Poet says, I liked True Blood. I never saw True Blood. Maybe I should watch
Usher isn't interested in any of these women. By the way, Usher is married himself. He is married, so I'm surprised his own wife is okay with all of that.
Oh, it's because he's a performer.
Right.
That's what she'd said.
It's just entertainment.
Yeah, it's just entertainment. Shadow Zero says Bondsman is 8 episodes, like 30 minutes an episode. The 30 minutes an episode part is intriguing. Like the fact that it's not an hour long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder said Pretty Little Liars is underrated slop. Love it.
I didn't expect that from Shane H. Wilder.
All right, go off.
I didn't expect that from Shane H. Wilder.
No, he's a man of taste.
Shane H. Wilder, you just got even more cred. That was amazing. Okay. All right.
Welcome.
Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here already? Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Yes, John Barrett, Under the Dome wasn't terrible. Jericho is better. Yes, it was. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, guys. Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than watch, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. That's another way to help the show. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. I do believe, if I'm not much mistaken, I will be on IRL tonight helping out. So tune into that to see me languish in the world of politics. There's a couple more there.
We have another 20 from Stone Sting. Blasphemy, Brett. Major League 1 was so much better than Major League 2. Omar Epps was a terrible Willie Mays Hayes. I said what I said.
Look, like I said, I remember 2 infinitely more than 1. Obviously, I do also remember them saying that Wesley Snipes was actually really not athletic, so it was hard to shoot the baseball scenes with him because he just couldn't run well. It wasn't any good. But I prefer Major League 2, especially that scene with him and with Willie Mays Hayes and Jesse Ventura making the fake cop movie Black Hammer and White Lightning. Amazing.
Seth Essington said, "Dance, dance, Mary." Well, I did when there was music, but I won't be dancing without it. Shane H. Wilder said, "I contain multitudes." I believe it.
There you go.
He loves Pretty Little Liars. Mr. Moose Knuckle sent us another $5 Canadian with no message.
Thank you so much for that. All right,
I believe
guys.
that's all.
All right, guys. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.